So you're scrolling through Zillow, right? And it seems like every single decent-looking house is $500,000. They're calling it a starter home, but you're sitting there doing the math on your own salary and just thinking, has the entire world gone completely insane? Well, we're going to dig into that exact question.
And hey, let's get one thing straight right up front. If you're feeling like you're somehow failing at this, like you're falling behind, I really need you to hear this. It's not you. This isn't a personal failure. The system has created a math problem that, for most of us, is just completely unsolvable. And today, we are going to unpack that brutal math.
So here's the core of it. That $500,000 price tag, the one that used to be for a really nice, maybe upper-class home, that's now become the new normal, the new baseline in cities all across the country. And we're not talking about mansions here. We're talking about a regular house for a regular family.
And this is where the disconnect just slaps you in the face. The typical American family, right? They earn about $84,000 a year. But we're asking that same family to somehow afford a house that costs 6 times their entire yearly income. If that sounds completely bonkers to you, well, congratulations. It means you're paying attention.
Okay, so before we even start talking about the monthly payment, most people's dream of owning a home dies right here, at the very first gate. And that gate is, of course, the down payment.
You know the rule everyone talks about? The one that helps you avoid extra fees and get a decent interest rate? It's putting down 20%. Well, on a $500,000 house, that is $100,000 in cash. Just let that number sit for a minute.
And here's where it gets kind of grim. To hit that $100,000 target, the median American, with about $8,000 in savings, isn't just a little bit short. They are $92,000 short. I mean, it would take them more than 10 years of saving 10% of their income to even get close. And that's assuming home prices magically stop rising, which, let's be real, they won't.
So what happens when you can't scrape together $100,000? Well, you get penalized for it. You have to pay something called private mortgage insurance, or PMI. You should really think of it as a monthly fine for not being rich. It's insurance you're forced to buy, but it doesn't protect you at all. It protects the bank from you in case you can't pay. You get zero benefit.
All right, so let's move on and see how this all stacks up into your actual monthly bill. This is where we get to the real heart of the problem, the true all-in cost that you are on the hook for every single month, long after that new house smell has faded.
So the number the bank likes to show you, that's just step one, your principal and interest. At today's rates, that's about $2,850. But wait, there's more. Then you got to add property taxes. We'll be conservative and say $500 a month. Then home insurance, which has gone through the roof, let's call it $300. Then there's that PMI penalty we just talked about, another $300. And finally, the one everyone forgets, maintenance. The rule of thumb is to budget 1% of the home's value every year, which tacks on another $417 a month.
So when you add all of that up, the real monthly cost to own this starter home isn't $2,850, it's $4,367. And that's your best case scenario. That's assuming your AC doesn't die in the middle of July and your roof doesn't decide to become a skylight. This is your baseline every single month.
Now, this is a really, really important distinction. See, a bank might give you the loan as long as all your debts, your mortgage, your car, everything, is under 43% of your income. But a financial advisor, someone who actually cares about your financial well-being, will tell you that just your housing cost alone shouldn't be more than 28% of what you make. If we use that healthier, saner rule, you need to earn almost $190,000 a year to actually afford this house.
So, who actually makes that kind of money? Well, turns out not many people. Only about 10 to 20% of all households in the US make $150,000 or more. So, what this really means, by any logical financial standard, is that about 80% of the entire country is priced out. That's not an opinion. It is just the math.
Okay, I know these numbers can feel kind of abstract, so let's make this real. Let's put a human face on this and look at what happens when a family that is, by any definition, doing really well for themselves tries to make this impossible math work. Let's meet the Johnsons. Together, they make $160,000 a year. They are solidly upper middle class. After taxes, after 401ks, what they actually bring home each month is about $9,500. So first thing, we subtract that massive housing cost, minus $4,367. Then we subtract all the other stuff you can't avoid: car payments, student loans, groceries, utilities. And after all of that, they have just over $1,500 left for everything else. For emergencies, for savings, for new shoes for the kids, for a birthday party, for life.
This is what being house poor actually feels like. It's not just a number on a spreadsheet. It's this constant humming anxiety in the back of your head. It's checking your bank balance before you go to the grocery store. It's lying awake at 2 in the morning, running numbers in your head. It's knowing that one bad car repair, one unexpected trip to the ER, could wreck your entire financial world. You might own a beautiful asset, but you feel like a prisoner to it, working constantly just to pay for these walls that you're too stressed out to even enjoy.
So if the math is this busted, what on earth are you supposed to do? Well, the answer might be to stop looking at the problem and start looking at the game itself. What if the goal isn't to figure out how to win a rigged game, but to have the wisdom to just choose not to play?
And I really need to say this again, because if you take one thing away from this, let it be this: you are not failing. The system is failing you. Home prices have completely detached from reality and from what people actually earn. And pretending you can just budget your way out of that, it's a fantasy.
Here's the big mindset shift. We've all been taught that wealth is the equity in your home. But what good is that equity if you can't touch it and you're stressed out and one paycheck away from losing it all? Real wealth isn't some number locked away in your walls. It's freedom. It's options. It's having peace of mind.
And what does that actually look like day to day? Well, it's having breathing room in your budget so an unexpected bill doesn't cause a panic attack. It's being able to actually invest in your future, consistently. It's sleeping through the night because you're not terrified of what bill is going to show up tomorrow. That's the goal, not just owning a house no matter the cost.
So, I'm going to give you permission to do something that your real estate agent won't, that your mortgage broker won't, and that maybe even your friends and family won't. You have permission to look at this brutal, honest math and just say, nope, not for me. There is absolutely no shame in making a decision based on reality instead of what society tells you you're supposed to want. In fact, it's the smartest damn thing you can do.
Ultimately, it really all boils down to this one question. Before you sign any papers, before you get swept up in the dream of it all, you have to ask yourself honestly, will owning this specific house with this specific monthly payment actually make my life better? Or will it just trap me in a financial prison that happens to have a nice front yard? When you really run the numbers, the answer usually becomes